And then I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Now we can take a look at these clocks. Oh, I'm so excited. I hope you enjoyed the exercise. It was a harder one, wasn't it? This project.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit harder. Oh, now I get it. When I was looking at this before, it said 10 right there. And I couldn't figure out why it said 10, but now it says 4. So that's the seconds. The 4 is the seconds.
The minutes, yeah.
Oh, the minutes. Sorry. Yeah, the 4 is in minutes. And this is sort of like a minute hand. This is great. Did you use this as an image, or did you actually code it in the I part?
No, I used it as an image, and then the medium, the half closed, and the closed ones are also two other images on top.
Oh, and then it blinks. Oh, wow. Nice.
And then it says the hour when it blinks.
It does?
It said 11.
Oh, yeah, it did. It said 11. Oh, wow. Oh, cool. Very nice. Let's see. Let's see why it's. Oh, nice. You really did use those hands. Let's see. Is it correct? Let's see. 11. Yeah. 05. Yeah. 43, 45. Perfect.
Yeah, sorry if the hands don't look the best. That was like the best I could do when it came to like positioning the images of the hands.
Yeah, that is tricky with images because, you know, it's like right on the outside of the bounding box. And yeah, positioning. You did a good job. Really good
Also,
job.
I'm also looking at it from my screen. Your clock is like behind mine.
But really, maybe it's a lag in Zoom because it seems good on my end.
Mine's like 10 seconds ahead of yours.
Huh, that's weird.
Either from the video or from your clock or from your laptop's clock.
On my laptop's clock, you can see it up in the corner there. So it's in sync. It's totally in sync.
Oh, no, nope, still 10, nope, it's 10 seconds behind mine.
Huh, that's weird because these should be connected to the network. Oh, wow. Great job. That was work. Let's see, Layla, nope.
Totally forgot about this one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry
You'll
about that.
get it done. Thou, see, nope. Hannah. Uh-oh, something's not working.
I was able to get on it from my machine. Huh.
Let's see.
I don't know.
And you named it clock.
Yeah.
Let me take a look in your folder. Huh, that's weird.
It's still working on mine.
That's really weird because the file path is correct. Huh, I don't know what's going on. Let's see. I don't know. We'll have to investigate this later. That's really strange because the file path is correct. So for some reason it should not showing. I'll try it like in another browser and see if it's a browser issue, or something like that. And I can always go in and look at it because I have access to your files, but that's weird. It works for you, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's working in Firefox for me at least.
Okay.
And I made it on the P5, what's it called? So
The
it's not
editor.
going to be in, yeah, it's not going to be in my open processing either. So
Oh, I wonder if that has something to do with it. Huh. Would you do me a favor and email me a link to where you have it in the P5 editor?
yes.
That would be great. And then I can see it from there. Okay, sorry. Gabrielle. Oh, you got him to swing. Oh, that's cute.
That's super cute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got the clouds, you got them to swing around, you've got the clock, you've got all the dots on there. Good job with that. Was that hard?
Yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah, it's trickier than it seems. But it looks like everything's correct. Awesome. That's great. I love the motion of the. Did you use easing in there? For the rotation of the bear?
What was that?
Did you use easing? Any easing?
No, I didn't. I mostly use sine and cosine to get the whole thing to move.
Wow, that's great. Awesome. OT.
Yeah, I could not make it. Sorry.
Okay, we'll work on it. We'll work on it. Jamie needs this. Oh, Jamie, I don't know if you sent it to. You haven't checked my email yet today.
Huh?
Nothing. Let's see, Joaquin's. Joaquin, let's see.
There's supposed to be like some contestants racing, but I'm not sure why they're not showing up on your screen.
Huh, that's weird.
Oh, well.
Oh, they're down here.
Oh, wow.
We're only seeing the
Right.
seconds. So, huh.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening, but there's supposed to be 3.
Supposed to be 3. Okay. And then it starts at the bottom again. Okay. I'll see if I can take a look at it and I can download it from the server and see if it works locally. And see what's going on there. Laxa. Got a hypnotic tick-tock, tick-tock. It's nice and smooth, so you really use that milliseconds timer and applied it to the rotation. So it's a nice, smooth motion. Good job. And then wrong. Hey, that looks good. Oh, you got the numbers to go around. Did you rotate them or did you just have to place them individually?
I place them individually.
Yeah, you'd probably have to do that for that court sort of. But it looks accurate and everything. That's nice. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay. And that's it. Okay, cool. Great job, you guys. I think it's a more challenging project with all the transforms and the rotations and the mapping and stuff like that. So you guys I can see you worked hard on that. So that is really, really great. So for our next project, now we're going to be getting into, hold on, we're going to be getting into functions and how we can write our own, customize our own functions, write our own functions. We've been working with functions so far, right? We've got setup as a function, draw as a function. Those are functions that are already built into P5. They run on their own. We don't have to do anything about that. Mouse press is a function, you know, key press is a function, but we can create our own functions and use them in our code. And it's really helpful to sort of like modularize our code into usable chunks and then just call them from the draw loop by whatever we name them. And then our code looks a lot more like English, you know, there's not so, you know, we've sort of separated all of these different things that we want to do into separate entities, and then we just call on them to do it when we want them to do it. So, so first thing I want to do is I'm going to make a sketch that is just like a coin flip. Okay, this is going to be really, really simple. It's just a coin flip. So on every time I press the mouse, the coin is going to flip and the color of the circle is going to change. So I know I'm going to need a variable for color, and I'll start it at, I don't know, I'll start at 255. Okay. And we're going to have an ellipse in the middle. Let's see. And then we're going to fill it with our, whatever the color is that's changing. We haven't changed it yet. So let's just make sure that's working. Okay. So we've got an ellipse in the middle there, and it's going to start as white. We could have it start as a different color, but so I'm just going to write this out without creating a custom function first, and then we'll change it into a function afterwards. So I'm going to use the mouse press and when the mouse is pressed, I want to get a random, you know, this or that, right? If 50% it goes on one side, 50% it goes on the other. So I'm going to make a variable called toss. Wait, how do I want to do this? Yeah, toss equals, and I'm just going to say random. If you just say random without giving any numbers, it's just going to automatically give you a random number between 0 and 1. So some sort of decimal point within there. So then I'm going to have an if statement that says if toss is less than 5, 0.5, I should say 0.5. So, you know, so we know we have a, anyway, yeah, 0.5. We know if it's over the middle or under the middle. Then color equals, C equals color 5, 0. Otherwise, else C equals color 0 to 5. I'm not sure what colors it's going to be, but Okay, so every time the mouse is pressed, I'm gonna check to see if it's greater than 1.5 or less than 0.5, and then it's gonna change the color accordingly, and that should fill the ellipse. So let's try this, starting at white. Okay, click yellow. Okay, so now you can see every time I'm click, 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 I'm getting a different result. So this is just probability, random choices between 1 and 0 and 1. There, you can do this all day and get some statistics from it. Yeah. Okay, so but what I want to do here, instead of putting all of the code into the mouse press function, I just want to make a function, and I'm just going to call it coin toss, right? And let's see. And I just want to call that function from the mouse press, just one line that just says coin tossed, and the coin toss happens. And this is really helpful because we might have a lot of things happening on the mouse pressed, and it's helpful if we break them down into their component parts. So the way we do that down here, it's pretty simple actually. We're just going to say function coin toss. So I'm just going to name it. And then inside of here is where I'm going to put all of this. So on coin toss, do the same thing, basically, the same code. Oops. Okay. And then all we need to do up here, I'm going to test to make sure I didn't get any errors. It's not happening now because we haven't called the function coin toss. Coin toss, huh? Coin toss. Okay. So I'm going to say coin toss. And that's all I'm going to say. I haven't given it any parameters or arguments. It's just going to run that code. So now I run this and I'm getting a coin toss. I'm using my coin toss function. So hopefully this shows you how this can really clean up your code and make things a lot easier to use. So it's about modularizing your code into, and the great thing is you can write a function that's really useful, and then you can just use that function in other, if you've made it pretty standardized, you can just copy and paste it into other sketches, and you've created this function that you can reuse over and over again. So let's do, what I want to do now is we're going to create a sketch that at first doesn't have any functions to it, but later on we're going to, just like I did right now, you're going to change it so that so it does have functions. All the activity happens inside of functions. So for our first exercise, we're going to have to create a sketch first, and then your task will be to turn it into functions. So go ahead and open up a new sketch, and I'll try not to go too fast so you can follow along here. What we're going to do is we're going to make the classic bouncing ball. So a ball that runs, a ball that goes across the screen and bounces off the sides and then goes in another direction and bounces off those sides. And I think it'll be very familiar to you with like screensavers and stuff like that. So there's three things that need to happen. We need the ball to move. Okay, so we need some code to change the X and the Y of the ball and animate it. we're going to need some code to check and see if it's bouncing off the side, if it's hitting one of these sides, and then we actually need some code that actually draws the circle to the screen. So let's start out by making a variable for the X and the Y. So I'm going to say let ball X. We'll just start it at 0, 0. Let ball Y 0. So that'll just place the ball up in the corner. Let me know if I'm going too fast because I want you guys to follow along and create the same sketch. So how do we get a ball to move or a circle to move? We need its X position to change with each frame. So if we make its X position, increase it by 5 each time, then it'll move across the screen. So let me just draw the ball. Oops, at ball X, ball Y, 30, 40. Let's just make sure that works first. Oops, what did I do wrong? Oh. Okay, so we have a ball up in the corner there. If I wanted to move across the screen, what I would do is I would say ball X, and then I could do, plus equals 5. And it would move across the screen like that. So that's how we're going to animate this thing, is that we're going to increment or decrement. If we wanted to go in the opposite direction, we would say minus equals 5, and then it would go in the opposite direction. And that should give you a clue as to how we're going to check for the sides and then bounce it back again with an if statement. So I want to, first of all, I'm going to change this 5 into a variable because I might want to adjust it later. So I'm going to change this 5 into a variable called speed. And, it's the speed. It's also the direction as well, but we'll just call it speed. And there we get the same result. Okay, so let's also change the Y. So it goes on a diagonal. Okay. So that's interesting. So let me give you a second to catch up on this. We're going to make some changes to this, but I just want to start out with a very basic one. So I'll give you a second to get this code into your sketch, and then just give me a thumbs up when you're there. Cool. Good. Good. Okay. So next thing we want to do is we want to write the code that actually makes it bounce off of the walls. So we're going to need an if statement that's going to check, just like we did when we did the rectangular rollovers, or yeah, so we're going to need an if statement to check the position of the ball and is going to change the speed accordingly. But one thing we need to do first is we might actually need a separate variable for the speed of the X and the speed of the Y, because if right now they're always going to be 5. But if we ever want it to go in this direction, you know, then one will be doing a negative and one will be doing a positive. If we just leave it at 5, it's just going to go back and forth like this the whole time. So we want to switch it between 5 and -5 to get it to go back and forth, but we need the X and the Y to have separate speed variables so that it can actually go in all of these different diagonals. So I'm going to change this to speed X and then let speed Y, and then change these down here, speed X and speed Y. Okay, so it shouldn't change much for now because we're not actually testing for the sides. So we've made that adjustment. So let's do an if statement. Let's just check for the X right now. If all X is greater than the width, so it's hit the other side, or double pipes for or, all X is less than 0, so that's checking for the left side. We want to change.
What did you put for the or?
The or is right between the two expressions that I wrote. It's a double pipe, which is the button above the return button, at least on the Mac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're saying if this is true or this is true, it saves us a step from checking both of those with like an else statement. Either of these, if either of these is true, change the direction of the ball. So we would want to change the direction. We would want to turn 5 into -5 to get it to go the opposite direction. And but what if it's already going in the opposite direction? We want it to go back again. We would want to change it from -5 into 5. So a really easy way to switch something from a positive to a negative is to multiply it by -1. And that will, if it's positive, it'll be negative. If it's negative, it'll be positive. So I'm going to say speed X equals speed X times -1. I don't know if anything's going to happen here because it looks like it's hitting the bottom first. Let me try this. Yeah, let me reduce my screen. There, so it bounced off that side. We haven't done the Y yet, but as soon as it hits there, it's switching it to a negative value, and that means it's going to go more towards 0 and left, it's going to decrease instead of increase. So let's do the Y as well. If all Y is greater than the height, or all Y is less than 0, speed Y equals speed Y times -1. So there we go. Let me give you, you probably need a minute to catch up here, right? I'll give you a minute to catch up. And then again, just give me a thumbs up when you're done. Good. Cool, cool. Okay. So now, once you have this, your task is to take, we basically have three types of code here. We've got code that moves the ball, which would be this. We have code that checks, that basically bounces it off the side. And then we have code that actually draws the ball to the screen. So your task, and this is under assignments, not assignments, exercises 2 to 23, is to change this into functions. Taking those bits of code, create functions that are going to do the same thing, so that in the end, all you'll really need to do is, instead of all of this inside the draw loop, all you have to do is write something like move, bounce, display, or render, or whatever you want to call it, show, or I'll say display. So this should be all that's in the draw loop, and all this code is going to go down into custom functions. Does that, oh, I spelled bounce wrong. Does that make sense? What you have to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, any questions?
Does the ellipse have to be in a function as well, or could it be on the draw?
We want the drawing of the ellipse to be its own function. So here I have it called display. So you'll have to create 3 functions, and so you'll be drawing the ellipse in a separate function.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, go ahead and get started on this. And then I created collection 11 in open processing, and you can go ahead and put it there so I can see it. Okay.
I have a quick question. So we have to create 3 new functions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly, yeah. All right, go for it. Oh, cool, we got 3 of them already. Oh, T, it looks like you're missing some of the code here. You need to have code that's gonna bounce it off the sides. So you have an if statement, just like here.
I-
It said-
That was the old one. I got it to work now.
Oh, okay.
Let me save that. See if that correct though. Does the new one work?
The
Kind of bounce on my screen.
Oh yeah, you got it. So have you put them into functions yet? I think that's the next step is
No.
take these and turn them into functions. So you'll be writing functions down here. So you'll make a function that, you know, called move, right? And
Yeah.
then you'll say, and then you'll take the same code right here that actually moves the ball. And you'll put that down here. And
Oh,
then,
so you just naming it?
yeah, you're just creating a whole new function and you get to name it whatever you want. And now now all you have to do is say move. Oops. Just say move and it'll execute the code that goes with move. So it should work the same. Yeah. So you just want to do that for the other two, the code that actually bounces the ball and then the code that draws the ball. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. How would you make it change color whenever it bounces?
You could do that. You could have it just put it in here. Right here you have whenever you change the speed, you could just give it a new color. You'd have to create a fill and then a variable for color. So you'd have to have like fill C, and you'd have to, you know, declare your C, let C equals, I don't know, start at white. And then here you could say, right here, you could say C equals color, and then, you know, random, you know, random 255, random 255, random 255 to give it a random color every time. Yeah.
Would that be the same concept if I want to change the shape of it too? So I would make like another variable for like the shape and change it.
You'd have to create, I think you'd have to create some sort of code that checks to see what shape it is and then switches it to another shape. So you need some sort of switch like that. So it'd be more complicated.
Let me just do the easy one first.
Yeah, get the functions going first and then add all your bells and whistles. Cool, looks like most of you got it. Excellent. Okay, that was easy, it looks like. Okay, cool. I guess I explained it okay. All right, so now we're gonna move on to creating functions that you actually pass parameters and parameters into them. So you know how we have function, like a function called ellipse, and it takes 4 arguments, right? We have to give it 4 different values in order for it to draw the ellipse. And that's because whenever somebody wrote that function to begin with, they declared that, okay, in order for this function to run, I need 4 pieces of information. So we can do that. We can have our functions pass in information to, you know, in between the parentheses. And I'm going to start a new sketch. Let me just do this. Okay. So wait, let me turn the editor on. Editor. Okay, so I'm going to start a new sketch. So I'm going to create something that draws like a pair of eyes to the screen. And every time I click, it's going to be in a different position and it's going to be a different color. So on the click, I need to pass in some information to it to tell it where I want it to, where I want it to be and what color I want it to be. And we do that by creating parameters that are linked up to the arguments that you hand in. So this right here, 255, that's an argument that we're handing into background. And wherever the background function is drawn, the parameters are declared. This will make more sense in a second. But basically, I want something that draws two eyes. So I'm going to create a function called eyes. I haven't written the function yet, but I don't want to draw it here. Hold on. I want it to draw on the mouse pressed. Eyes. No, mouse pressed. Sorry, mouse pressed. And it's just going to be eyes. But I don't, okay, let me go over this slowly here. So function eyes. Okay, but what I need different information every time the eyes are drawn. I need an X. I want to have a different X and different Y, and I want the size of the eyes to change, and I want the color of the eyes to change. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add these parameters to it. So I'm telling the program what information I want to be passed into this function. So I'm going to create what are these like temporary variables that are going to receive the information, and then I can use those. They're not full on, variables that you could use all over the program. They're just these little temporary variables that are just going to receive information. So I want the first value passed in to be the X, the second to be the Y, the third to be the width of each eye, the size of each eye, and the last one to be the color. So, so that means once I've declared that, hey, I'm going to want 4 parameters, now every time I call eyes, I have to give it 4 arguments. But first, let's write the function. So basically, it's going to draw 2 ellipses. So I'm going to say ellipse. The first one is going to be the X is going to, they're going to have to be slightly, together. So the X is going to be X, the left one's going to be X minus 10, so that it's slightly to the left. X minus 10, Y, width, and then I need to have a fill up here that's going to contain the color. Fill C. So these are just temporary variables that are going to where the data is going to be passed in. I need to draw another ellipse, which would be X plus 10, Y width. Okay, So now, whenever I call eyes, I need to give it 4 values. So let's just add some values in there. I want the first one to be an X of 200, a Y of 100. I want them to be 40 in width, and I want the color to be 100. So let's hold our breath and hope this works. No, it didn't work. Okay, what did I do wrong? On mouse press, draw eyes, 4100, 100, lips.
So you have to click on the
Oh,
screen.
it didn't click. Oh, thank you. Oh, click's not working either. Click. What did I do wrong here? Lips. Well, hold on, I have a version of this. Because this one works. On this one I have, oh, every time you run it, it goes to a different, it shows something different. Oh, I know what it is. It's drawing it, but then the background is wiping it out every time. So I'm going to change this from being on a mouse press to just being in the draw. That's what was happening. So instead of a mouse press, it's going to be inside the draw function. There we go. Okay, I need more distance here. So I'm going to turn this into 40, run it again. Okay, there we go. So every time I run it, it's going to give me the same pair of eyes right there. So let's say I wanted to, every time I run this, it's going to be a little bit of variation. So by doing what I'm going to do there is I'm going to give it some randomness. I'm going to say random the width for the X. So somewhere between 0 and the width. Random height for the Y. Then the size of it, I'm going to say random somewhere between 10 and 50. And then the color is going to be random 255, so somewhere between black and white. So now let's try this. Missing line 8. Line 8 is missing random width, random height, random, oh, missing it right here. Oh, it's doing it every time through loop. I don't want it to do that, so I'm going to say up here, no loop. There, so every time I run this program, I'm getting a different result. So just to review, these are the parameters I want passed in, and then so they're going to require them as arguments up here. So what I would like you to do now is you're going to go back to when we were just talking about variables, and we made a target. Do you remember that? So that we can use the variables to adjust the size of the target. So you're going to create a sketch where every time you click on the screen with the mouse press, it's going to draw a target symbol. And the size is going to change depending on the size is going to be random, but the X and the Y will be the mouse X and the mouse Y. You're going to have to turn the background off to keep them drawn like that. But you're going to be using functions to do this. So you'll on mouse clicked, you'll have a function called, I don't know, target, and you'll pass in some information to the target function. So you're going to be passing parameters into the target function. Any questions about that? Does that make sense?
How do you turn off the background?
You just don't have it in there. You can comment it out or you can delete it. That's all you need to do. So you just wouldn't have this. Just like that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, if you don't have any other questions, give this a shot. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Good job, Leila. Got one from Genesis. Looks great. Hannah, your project looks great. Your clock looks great.
I just realized that's broken though, so I will take a
Oh.
look at that shortly. The
Okay.
AM should definitely not be there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But the gradient looks good.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'll have to check it later, and I like to go in into the system preferences and turn off the, the clock that is automatically updated, and manually change my clock so I can see all the differences over the hours. I don't know if you've tried that, but it's really helpful.
No, I didn't try that.
Mhm.
That would have been the way to go.
Yeah, it's helpful. cool. I see a lot more. If you're done with this one, this exercise, if you're not, just keep working on it. But the next one is very similar. You're just going to be creating some sort of barbell kind of thing where the line, the distance and the shape of the the size of the circles, and it's very similar. It's just on every time it runs, it's going to have a different output. So you'll just create a function called barbell and do that. So very similar to the last one, except no mouse clicks. This is really pretty looking. I like this.
Thank you.
So like I said, if you're finished, go ahead and get started on the next exercise, the barbell exercise. Becca, I'm trying to figure out why your barbell isn't showing up. Does it show up for you? Where'd she go? Looks like it should. I wonder if it's,
You're looking at her target exercise.
oh. Oh, that's why. Oh, okay. Thank you. My bad. Okay, so she has him dropping it random locations instead of at the mouse X and the mouse Y. Duh, I should have noticed that. Looks good. Gabriella has her barbells. So let's pause for a second since several of you have finished the barbell one. We'll come back to it and I'll stick around to help out for anyone that has an issue. Let's pause for a second and look at the project you'll be doing. And this is going to be due the Tuesday after spring break. So this will, you know, I guess technically this is a 1 week project, but you really get 2 weeks to work on it. But you kind of know everything you need to know to complete this project. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be creating some sort of design object, some sort of creature that has, you know, just, you know, like different parts of it that can be adjusted into different variations upon the design. And you're going to make a 2x2 grid, so there'll be 4 up on the page, and every time you run it, you should get a different combination of each character. So you're going to want to use some random in there for the shapes and the colors and sizes and things like that. So you want to use some random in there to introduce some variation. And let me show you an example. And I've posted this example on our I have some examples down. I'll show you on the exercises pages you've been looking at. Down at the bottom, there's some other examples, and there's one called Sprites. So this is a very simple version. Yours is going to look a lot better than this, obviously. But I have 4, you know, I have a function that calls this certain character. And every time I run the, every time I run this, I get a different result on each of them. So I'm adjusting for some sort of distance on the line and then some sort of color. But yours, you know, make a robot or make just an abstract design or something like that. But so it's kind of recognizable with each one, but there'll be something different every time you run the program. So using functions, you need to pass parameters into that function. And And so you're going to be creating something like this, basically, using everything you've just learned today. I also posted a another one here where it shows how you can, if you look at the code, it shows that you can call other functions within one function. So I have a function called draw face, right? And it has an X and Y width and eyes. But inside of there, I have a function called draw head and draw eyes. So I have separate functions that do each of these things. Draw head and draw eyes. And yeah. So anyway, so you can do that too, to even further modularize your code, so that it just kind of makes sense when you're drawing things. So there's that example there. Do you have any questions about this project?
So we can like draw anything.
Yeah, just come up with some sort of design, shapes and lines, and with, you know, I mean, I guess you could use images too if you wanted to, and you could change the size of the images as well, just as long as it's some sort of design that you can parameterize so that it changes a little bit with every variation. And you'll control how much it changes and what it changes to.
All right.
Yeah.
Could be like abstract too, like as long as the shapes are changing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So so
Yes,
the
sir.
yeah.
And a certain aspect of it has to change whenever you like redo it or something.
Yeah, every time you run the program, they each need to change, something needs to change in them. So you'll be using some sort of randomness to parameterize those changes.
All right.
Every time I run this, I get something a little bit different. And you want to use functions, and you want to pass in information as parameters to those functions. So if you're done with the last exercise, you're free to go, but I'll hang around and help anyone else out that might need a little nudge, a little help there. But other than that, have a great spring break. I know you're all going to go down to Cancun, right? And get COVID and bring it back. And yeah, don't do that.
Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, but I'm vaccinated. I'm vaccinated, so I can do that.
Wow.
I haven't had my second shot yet.
You're not gonna take us
That's
with
not
you?
fair.
What?
Not gonna take us with you?
No, you can't
Yeah,
go. You gotta stay home. You haven't had your shots. I haven't had my second
I'm
shot.
young. It's not gonna. No, I'm just playing.
That's what everyone says. Yeah. So no, I have no plans at all. It's really boring. Yeah.
Have
The
a good
bar's
spring break.
open.
The what?
Everything is open again.
I know, right? Maybe I'll go out to dinner. I don't know. Haven't done that in a while.
You should go to Texas. Everything's opening.
Should go to Texas. Yeah. That's a party.
Isn't it pretty hot over there?
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Have you been there before?
Texas? No. I mean, to the airport, but have you?
No.
No, I've never been to Texas. I think I have family there, actually, or I used to. Maybe they died. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll organize my books over spring break. I know that sounds really exciting.
Go outside, man.
I know, right? I
A
should
hike or something.
go for a hike. That sounds like fun. Yeah.
Like a
Joaquin
little
would like
picnic,
that.
you know? Yeah, bring your kid with you.
Yeah, he would love that. He loves exploring.
Or like a little picnic up in the mountain.
But he always finds like a river or a creek and then gets totally wet and muddy. It's like-
How old is he?
he's 6. He just turned 6.
Oh, that's when they start developing a character, huh?
Yeah,
Right around this time.
he lied to me for the first time. Yeah, the other day.
How did you find out?
Yeah, how do you find
Because
out?
I could tell he dragged the cat into the bathtub, but then he said he just squirted her with a squirt gun. The cat was soaked all over its belly, the whole tail. Like there's no way he could have done that with just like a squirt gun. And
Oh, the cat.
the cat was soaked and there was water everywhere. Like, you can't do that with a little squirt toy.
The cat is a toy.
Yeah,
Aw.
the cat is a toy. The cat is totally a toy. It likes to put in boxes and close the boxes, and it's just. But the cat puts up with it. Cat just is like
You
chill.
probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it does.
The cat hasn't scratched it? Usually
Cats
cats
like-
are like,
Yeah.
they're crazy. They don't let themselves.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a free spirit. They don't really like being pet.
Yeah. This cat will let you do anything to it. Just, pick it up, throw it around. It's just like, yeah, it's cool.
His life is an adventure.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they got 9 lives to live.
Oh, he already lost one. He fell out of a tree, like from 2 stories up. He fell out of a
Oh,
tree.
Oh,
Yeah,
you'll be all right. They have the strong bones.
they do. He must, because he didn't. Yeah, he was fine. He was totally fine. But he doesn't climb trees anymore. So that's
They really be testing out that 9 life, though. I really see cat like.
yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Although in this neighborhood they tend to disappear. We have a lot of roaming dogs, so they don't always last.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, there's something in the chat. Sorry if I missed that. That one is, oh, it's from Rebecca. Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. Sorry about that. I totally didn't notice that.
I'll see you later then. Have a good
All right.
spring break.
Have a good spring break.
bye. See ya. Have a nice spring break.
Bye.
wait, we have spring break next week, or is the
Yeah.
following week?
Sir, what you been doing? You've been. Not
Man,
excited,
I've been lost.
Yeah, so
Oh,
don't,
you are not alone, sir. You are not alone.
if you log into our Zoom meeting, you're gonna be the only one.
I just take education serious.
Yeah. That's right.
I didn't know either. They told me yesterday, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Everything-
no, me too. I just like today, like my last class, you're like, you can't make that due next Tuesday. We have a break. Oops. Okay, sorry.
You good. Finish this thing.
Oh my god, the cat right now is asleep inside of a sombrero.
Yeah.
We have these big Mexican sombreros. The cat is asleep like in the brim.
He's excited for the Cinco de Mayo.
That's right. Yeah.
He's
Okay,
looking forward
party. He's gonna attack that piñata.
to it.
Do you guys want to meet my water dragon?
Yeah.
You have a water dragon?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember when I did my
The website
Santa?
about water dragons. I remember that. I didn't know
Yeah,
you
but-
had one. Yeah, I want to meet it.
Let me grab it. It's in the. He likes being in the curtains. I'll grab it.
Really? Oh, you let it run wild?
Yeah, in the house. My house is little. It's the apartment is very small, so let
Oh,
me
wow.
do that real quick.
Wait, Professor, I had a question.
Yeah.
You know how the schools like giving out like a grant for students for the COVID relief? Do
Oh,
teachers
really?
get that as well?
I didn't know about this. That's
Oh
really,
yeah.
I don't know anything about that. Are you gonna apply?
No, I think based on your financial status, I guess you automatically get it.
Wow.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if teachers get it as well, or they get
No,
something.
but I got my stimulus check. That was nice.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Typing.
Yeah. Oh, let's see the dragon.
Here it is.
There it is. Wow. How old is it?
He's already 4. I'm not sure if it's a female or a male, but here it is.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. That is so cool. What's the name?
I call him Lisa. He wants to go.
Oh. What do you have to feed it?
He eats worms, especially the ones that are alive, and cricket.
And crickets? So you have to buy those from the pet store or what?
Yeah, I buy them at Petco. I also tried buying some of the farm ratchets. They're super small. But he didn't eat it. I'll try it again. But he likes I buy some like big worms. They're like caterpillars. They're like blue.
Ooh.
Those. And
Ew,
then
that's kinda gross.
like little worms. I know. When I feed him, I always run away. I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Oh, really? So you have to keep, so those are like pets too, because you have to buy a bunch of them and then keep them alive.
Yeah, like especially today I went to the little food plate, and the caterpillar was kind of like, oh, sad and dying. I'm like, I'm gonna feed you again. I'm gonna bring you to life.
Oh, wow. So you have multiple pets.
Yeah, it's
Food
kind of
pet
sad.
and the predator pet. Oh my God. Can you imagine having a snake and having to feed it mice?
Oh yeah, it would be so sad. And
do that.
And these water
Pretty-
dragons, they also
pretty-
eat mice, but I have never
Yeah.
fed
Wow. That's pretty big for that size of a animal.
Yeah. Oh, when they get bigger, they get bigger, like huge. I've seen pictures of them, but this one hasn't grown as much.
Does he go in the water? Is that why he's called a water dragon?
Yeah, yeah, he likes the water. I have like in the. It's funny because it's in the bathroom actually, but I have the little water tank and then the food and everything. So he knows like when he is hungry, he just goes down the curtain and then runs to the bathroom and then gets in the water, eats, and then comes back and up.
Whoa, he's totally trained.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Yesterday I was in class and then I opened the door because I closed it, and then he was in the door like, you had the door closed. And I'm like,
He was pissed.
it was fun.
So he's got some personality.
Do you guys step on him by accident? Like since he's free, like walks around free around the house?
No, I almost did it like that. Like it's been sometimes almost there, but no.
Yeah. Not yet.
Not
We
yet,
have
hopefully not.
a gecko living in our bathroom. I don't know how it survives, but we only see it every now and then. It comes out. It's so tiny. It's so itty bitty. It's tiniest thing. Like it just fits like right there on my hands, just like that. And my son named him Fast Go. Whatever.
Aw, that's
Because he goes fast. So he named him Fast Go. So that's his
Aw.
He's brown. It's a gecko. I was shocked. I don't know if he's still alive. I haven't seen him for a while. So I don't know where he lives but he just shows up every now and then.
It's
So,
like, this is my second house.
yeah, right? He probably lives in the wall. Who knows where he lives? I don't know, but he just shows up in the bathroom. So cute. Yeah,
That's funny.
it's cute.
Okay, guys, I gotta go. Have a great day. Enjoy
All
your
right,
spring
have a great
vacation.
break.
See you guys after spring break.
Yep.
Break.
See you in a week,
Bye.
2 weeks.
Have a
Yes.
nice
Bye.
break, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
You too.
So we got 2 people left. And let me know if you need any help with anything. Oh, good, Rebecca. That's great. Cool. Yeah, so just put that into open processing and let me know if you get stuck on anything with the project.